Hello everyone, this is Joni from Joni, Designs by Joni L. I'll get used to that one of these days, I promise. Today is, for me, a bit of a special day. I get to do a lot of remembering back over something that gave me a lot of happiness. I am looking at a lot of wedding things, and I'm going to show you some things that I have made for my daughter's wedding. And I think that you girls who are in the process of becoming engaged or are engaged, if you haven't made a lot of your plans now, I know how taxing it can be, and you get so tired and everything like that. And when my daughter was getting married, she was working full time. She was in surgical RN, and they do pretty hard work. So she was fully very tired. So she asked me if I would help her with her wedding, and I said yes. And she knew that I made flower arrangements and all such things as that. So she told me, she said, "Okay, Mom," she said, "if you'll just take that over and make the flowers, we'll pick them out, and then you can go ahead and make them the way that you want." So she had always been pleased with the way that I made the arrangements around the house. And then I had made bouquets, wedding bouquets before. I made one that was almost 3 feet long, and it was beautiful. It was very beautiful. So I went ahead and started making her arrangements, not her arrangements, but her flower arrangements. And we came up with the decision that she would use, what type of things she would use for her wedding. And she didn't want to spend a whole lot of money because they were going to be buying a house and all the other things that come with getting married. So she didn't want to break the bank, shall we say, on the wedding itself. So I planned along with her, and I made everything, all of her flowers for her, except the bouquet that she carried. And I made the one that she was going to toss at the end of the ceremony. I made it, and I made all of the arrangements for her tables, and everything like that. And she had 200 guests, and there were doctors there that she worked with, of course, and nurses, and other people there at the hospital, and a lot of different people. And so we wanted everything to be as pretty as possible, of course. It would have been that way had she and her husband been the only two, but we wanted it all to be pretty like every bride and groom do. So so I started making them, and I knew Sophie that's my little granddaughter, she was going to be her flower girl. And I knew basically I could see her, and I knew what I wanted her to wear in her hair. So I went and bought the things and came back, and I just started making it. And I had never seen one before like it, and I don't think I've ever seen one since then. But everyone has just really loved it. And so the photographer followed her through that entire ceremony, and through the dinner afterwards and everything. And he even called and to see if they could use that in their studio for promotional fees and everything. And so I'm going to show you the headpiece that Sophie was wearing that night. And it's very, I have a piece of material down here that I think might serve it a little bit more better than just the green down here. The green was sort of washing the flowers out, so I decided to go ahead and bring in the pink material, and so that you could see it better. Here I go, turning this thing the right way. This is how I started it. This is let me see, this is the front of it. The way I can tell this, I have a little thing hanging down here right in the front with little pearls on it. And she had exceptionally long hair. Her hair came down below her waist. And she had a lot of hair. Her hair was very, very thick. And so I took a headband and I wrapped it really well. And then I took some real pretty ribbon and wrapped around that other wrapping so that any part that showed, of course, would be pretty. And then on the underside of it, I put some little pearls that I don't know if you can see them or not. They're little pearls that go around right there. I'm holding it wrong. There they go. And they are strung on a piece of very, very soft tulle. And I took them all around there. Then I got the white flowers. They're not completely white, but they're almost white. And I put the little roses around here and then over on this side. And then I got the other, looks to me like there's something similar to a apple blossom, but I'm not sure if it's that or if it might be a cherry blossom. But anyway, I put several of those all around it. And then I fixed it the same way in the back. It's the back. That's the view you got as she was walking down the aisle. And then I took ribbon up here that was in her, this is only part of the headpiece. This was, there was ribbon like this in her, the back part of her headpiece. And I put it in this. And then I took some very tiny little flowers, they're little roses, the little pink ones here, and placed them anywhere that I could see a spot of anything that I didn't want to see. I put those little roses around. And it started turning out, and then she had some little flowers that were just very, very thin material on with the flower itself. Right here's one, let me see, right here. And the material is so fragile, it's very thin, and it has a little pearl in the center of it. No, it's a rosebud, that's what it is. It's a little rosebud in the center. And so that added to all that, being so pretty and everything. And when she put this on, she looked like a doll. That's all you can say about it. Now, here is the other piece. Like I said, her hair was exceptionally long. And I'll lay this down for just a minute to show you what the other piece was made of. So I fixed this to go around. I wanted her hair to be worn from the ear up, from one ear to the other. I wanted that hair pulled up on top, and then this put on it and back away from her face. And then cascading down her back, the rest of it. So I took this and put it on that little ponytail, you might say, but the ponytail was almost on top of her head. And I had this cascading down from the head piece itself. And the same ribbon was in this that I used in the headpiece, and the same pearls. And here's a piece of the little ribbon. It's sort of a mauve, very, very light mauve. This is the colors that I like on my Christmas tree. And during my introduction for Christmas, I said light pinks, but they're not really light pinks. They're sort of mauve colors. And then there was one in here that, there's several in here like this, that you will see in her headpiece itself. And when it cascades down, I'm going to say probably 16 inches because, and her hair was longer than this. So when you put this together, you put this on top of her, I put this on top of her head. Well, I didn't because I had to come back to get the flowers. We forgot the flowers, and I had to run home to get the flowers, so someone else dressed Sophie while I was coming home to get the flowers. And they didn't get it exactly put on the way it was supposed to be, but it still looked gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But you take this and you set it right up in front of that ponytail, and then you take this piece and you add it just as close as you can get to that front piece. And you're not supposed to have any hair at all showing between that. And it looks like one continuous thing. And then, of course, you can't see, the camera is not holding. As you can see, it just keeps cascading down. And her hair, and I have some pictures I'm going to show you, but this is what I made her. And this is the first picture I'll show you of her with it on. As you can see, it isn't quite up to her hair the way it's supposed to be, but it is, it's there enough to make it very pretty. And the little head piece looked adorable. I mean, that child, she was absolutely adorable. And here I have several of these so you can get a full view of what it was like. Here, she was going to walk down the aisle by herself, and during reception and everything, the dinner rehearsal, she did just fine. And she walked down the aisle by herself. She was only 4 years old. And then, because no one was between me and her, and she could see me at the end of the aisle, so she was fine. But then when the church filled up with 200 people and she started down that long aisle, she got a little bit scared. So Tanya looked at her brother Chris, and she said, "Chris, go get her. Take her down." And he said, "Are you sure?" And she said, "I'm sure." She said, "You go down that aisle with her." And he said, "Okay." And so here he goes after his little girl. And there they go walking down the aisle, and she's got Daddy's hand, so the world is right and everything is just fine. She is walking with her daddy to see Aunt Tawny down there after a bit. And then this is when she first started down the aisle by herself. And she got down there and she decided, "Oh my goodness, I can't see my mama. Where is she?" So that's when Daddy came in and took her hand and escorted her the rest of the way down. But the little hairpiece, as you can see, I wanted it to, you can see how long her hair is. And it was just, and the dress, she saw the dress herself when we were picking it out, picking Tanya's dress and everything up. And she saw this dress and she grabbed it and she just clutched it to her chest. And she told us, she says, "I want this dress." So she had one with the train, just like Aunt Tawny. And she was all dressed up ready to do what she was supposed to do. And you can see right here more of the dress, the way it looks, and the hairpiece. It just all fit seamlessly to me. It just looked gorgeous. And of course she had to have her hair done at the beauty shop before she went down the aisle. So she got her hair fixed at the beauty shop. So, oh, she was very pleased with that too. And as you can see how the bow went down the back of her dress. And it was shorter in front, and then the train sort of came down, and it didn't hang to the floor. It didn't touch the floor, but it was almost to the floor. So she thought she was just like her Aunt Tawny. And this is another one of the her daddy and the church in the church, and that's the groom up there, the groom to be, waiting, and everyone's waiting for the bride. And I guess I better show you the bride and groom now, since everything else has been shown just about. That's my daughter and her husband. And this wedding was about almost 8 years ago, and the headpiece really looks like it was just made. It has not been hurt one bit. I'm going to put it in a shadow box. Now, after the wedding, she and Aunt Tawny were up there by themselves because they are two that are very, very close to each other. And they were standing up there looking at the church and everything in their dresses. And the photographer snapped this. And then Tanya always had a habit of, she would bend over to kiss Sophie, and she always kissed her just above, right on top of her nose. And Sophie was looking up at her Aunt Tawny. And she has one of her kissing her on the top of the nose, but it showed Sophie's face a little bit more than what I wanted for it to be seen on camera, so I didn't put it on. But then this is another one that's just about like the one I just showed. But those two, that's what I'm telling you. I tell people about my videos. When I make one a shirt, I usually have to make the other one a shirt because Tanya will go out of her way to dress like Sophie does, just to please Sophie. And she loves that child dearly. This is the last thing after the wedding was over. Sophie was up there by herself. And she was looking at the church, and she was just looking everything over and seeing. Her dress did cascade to the floor. I was just looking at that. She had little ballerina slippers on. And I'm going to put all of that in a shadow box for her and put it away. And I told her, I said, honey, I said, one of these days when you get old enough, I said, you can let your little flower girl wear this. And this is another picture of my daughter right before the wedding, I believe. And that was with a bouquet of flowers that she had gotten for her dad because he had passed away with cancer about a year before. And she wanted something there to represent him, and her brother had to give her away, of course. And she wanted something to represent her daddy, so that was there. And then here is a frontal picture of the headpiece on Sophie. But I have a piece of stuff over it because I really don't want her picture on the YouTube. So you can see how that headpiece fits, and with that long hair of hers. And it would work equally as well if you had short hair, whatever. I started to turn the picture around so you could see the side of it. Yeah, really. But it would work just as well with short hair as it does with the long. Now, that is for the way that the Sophie was dressed. Now, as far as the wedding was concerned, I decorated Tanya's silverware, her plate things that went with her cake. And can't see that very well, but I fixed those little things and decorated those. And then I also fixed her glasses and everything to match. And she liked all of that. She thought that it was beautiful, and she said she knew that Mom would make it right. So it's another picture of her glasses. And it's just simple. There's not a lot of fuss or anything done to it, but yet it's elegant, and that's what I like, something that is simple but elegant. Now, with 200 guests, you can't have all round tables, so she had some long tables, and on her long tables, I took some things that I'll show you tomorrow. I'll tell you what I did with the long tables on my next video. So if you'll watch my next video, you'll see what I did about that. Now this is one of the things of her, the round tables. I took a brandy sniffer, and it's big. I had 17 of them. And I took tulle and put inside that. And I took a flameless candle, and that burns, that burns on a battery. And then I took those little stones that are clear that you can buy at all the stores around, and the crafting stores. And I put those in the bottom of around the candle, and they glistened off of the light from the candle. And then I made the wreath that went around the bottom of the brandy sniffer. And then I had the little things that a lot of people have. They were just those little very cheap swans that you set at each place setting. And that doesn't really show up very much. I have one that's closer than that I can show you. This is what I made 17 of them. That's the wreaths that I made for her. And that's the tulle in there, and the candle. And it looked like a real candle. It really did. Sophie and Tanya and I went down there the night before the wedding and decorated this it was at a restaurant. And it was right on the bay. And but look at that salt and pepper shaker. I want you to look. I could not believe that when I saw it. After I'd gone to all of the trouble of getting everything exactly the way I wanted it. And then I go in down there and they have those silly salt and pepper shakers that you would serve any place, anytime for a restaurant. And I thought, could they not have just given us something a little more elegant? And I would have brought them myself if I'd have known better. But I brought my other silver and things for the other things. But I didn't think about a salt and pepper shaker. But that just sort of, ugh, I would just like to rub them out if I could. But it took a long time to make that wreath. And like I said, I made 17 of them. And it was tiring. And I had more than one glue burn, I'll tell you. But I got them all done and everything was finished. But now tomorrow on my next video, I'm going to bring the brandy sniffer in and the candle and the tulle and everything and the little stones and show you exactly what I did and how I did it. And then I will show you the things that I used on the long tables where we couldn't use a brandy sniffer. And one of the things that was very pleasing to me is that after you go to all the trouble of making all of those wreaths and you buy the brandy sniffers and everything, I was frankly sick of them after I got through making them. I had seen so many of them. So we came up with the idea that after the wedding, at the reception, she would just go ahead and give each of her bridesmaids and matron of honor one of those complete settings, and then she would give her mother-in-law and all of her husband's sisters and sister-in-law one. And then she gave her then sister-in-law, it's her ex-sister-in-law now, she gave her one, and then I kept one, and she kept one. So to me that was a very good way of spreading that cheer and everything with the different families and uniting them even more so. So I thought that that was a very good thing to do with the things that she had left over, because she could never possibly have ever used those throughout the rest of her life. So she gave each of them one complete setting for the table. And they were speechless almost. They didn't know what in the world to think when she told them that they could each have one. And it really pleased them, and it pleased me that she was doing that too. So everything turned out beautifully, and there was no hitches at all, and it was just absolutely beautiful. And I hope that you did like the headpiece, and I hope that you liked the little girl, because if you've seen any of my videos, you have heard me talk about her, and she is the thing that brings the smile to my face. And I love the child dearly, and She has gotten so big now, though, that she's taller than I am. So she's not the little girl then that she was then. But she is equally as beautiful now as she was then. And what is equally important, she is as beautiful inside as she is outside, because she is a child that you don't see very often. She has a heart of gold. And she is never better than anyone else. She is just herself, and that's it. And she makes me very proud of her every day of her life. And so I was more than happy to make her something like this that would make her shine on that special day that she wanted to shine for her Aunt Tawny. So with that, I will end this video. And like I said, come back tomorrow and I'll show you some more of the things that I didn't show you. I'll show you the things I had on the long table. And I'll show you the wreath in person, because like I said, I have one. And the brandy sniffer and all, and I'll put it together for you so you can see it right on the camera. So you take care, and if you like this, give me a thumbs up, and if you like the material and everything, subscribe, because I'm trying to get as many subscribers as I can. And so with that, I'll just say good night, and I'll see you tomorrow, and you come back, and we will have fun crafting again. Thank you. Bye-bye.